This is the fourth BrainFit4Life web symposium. It started as an initiative, grassroots, from experts, specialists, doctor, clinicians, to advocate for more funding in this area. And the fourth BrainFit4Life symposium was really dedicated to innovation and discoveries in brain health. And today, this is exactly what we will talk about. So, as I mentioned in my introduction, there's a lot to longevity nowadays. Longevity seems to be a concept which is more of a buzzword. However, longevity is only worthwhile if we do have effectively capability to live a high quality of life. Indeed, there has been, based on the global health statistics, an increase in lifespan about 6 to 7 years, but this doesn't really match the quality of life. And so I'm questioning whether all this investment that is being done in the longevity research, that with the buzz come the bucks, is really looking intensively to brain health. As you can see, there has been major private capital investment in this field. And what we're looking at, it's actually salary programming, which certainly makes a lot of sense for reproductive health, regeneration, longevity drugs, rejuvenation, genetics, immunity, but it's questionable whether anything has to do with brain health. So in these terms, what does it mean? If we do live long, however, we will also have more expenses. So we need absolutely to be sure that once we live long, we are also capable to live a healthy and social life. As you can see here, the life expectancy has raised in all countries except the US, but with the raise in life expectancy, there is also a rise in cost. And probably if we look at the causes of death for the majority of cases, the second cause of death is really related to Alzheimer and other dementia. As we know, this is not only true for Switzerland, but also for the US. And it seems to be really a constant in all developed countries, and in countries that are up and coming, like China and Africa, this is probably going to be soon also the case. So what does it mean if we do have the second cause of death, which is due to a very long chronic disease? Because as we know, brain diseases as dementia have an extremely long asymptomatic phase. The phase in which mechanisms are ongoing is more than 20 years. And this 20 years, maybe some of those mechanisms can be reversible, but we're not able to detect them. So we really need to put a lot of emphasis on those modifiable factors in a phase where we cannot detect them, or at least ourselves in the subjective matter cannot detect it. And we need technology to help us in identifying those traits or those risk factors that can be modifiable, it can be employed in order to reverse and prevent the disease progression. So in terms of the causes of death, we really need to recover and think about how to maintain brain health as long as possible in order to be able to improve not only the quality of life, but also reduce the cost, the social and economic burden. It is clear that if we continue like that and there is no treatment for dementia, or reversal is very moderate, this is going to be the new pandemic. In terms of the cost that dementia drugs are posing, this is humongous. And we clearly have already, in terms of cost affecting the disease, about 1 trillion is spent per year of which only 20% are direct costs and the 80% are indirect costs, meaning that this is all caregiving cost and very, very little therapeutics. Currently, we have active clinical trials, about 186, and the development of those drugs due to this very long progression is staggering, 5.6 billion. If you compare this to cancer, there is clearly an advantage, and I think that it's also from the investment perspective, it's clear that cancer drugs have more attractiveness. The development is the development is about 794 million. It's almost a tenfold difference. And the active clinical studies, it's have really 6,430 versus 186. So we are faced with not only an economic dilemma of what we're facing if we will live longer, but also an investment dilemma. The development of drug therapies is extremely expensive, and so we're left actually with what it's easier and probably doesn't generate a lot of money, but it's prevention. And so we have clearly, there are two initiatives that are already started in 2019, the Fingers, the Worldwide Fingers, of which we have the US pointer, where five factors are being considered and be leveraged in order to prevent brain aging and pathological brain aging. And it's really those five factors that are important and that have been shown to prevent brain degeneration and create plasticity and create that cognitive reserve which is needed in order to live a healthy and vibrant intellectual life. So what are those? We all know them. It's physical activity, mental stimulation, being socially active, cardiovascular healthy, and also eating a healthy diet. So what does it all mean? It means that we really need to think about our brain as connected to our body and live a bodyful and mindful life, intersected into a social environment, be very active both mentally and physically, and also think about lowering the carbohydrates intake. As we know, there is Alzheimer and dementia are also called diabetes of type 3 because of strong insulin resistance. And today I would like to introduce, so with this very small overview of what we are facing, if we don't take the appropriate intervention, I'm really pleased to show to you that there is a lot going on at the level of advocacy campaign that are really stimulating the investment in new therapies for brain health, and but also we have two very, very promising researchers from SHUV and from the University of Alabama, and all the rest are entrepreneurs who are dedicated to improving the trajectory of brain health with aging. And I just would like to show some of you, Alexandra Koenig, Pauline Martins. Alexandra Koenig is from K Elements in Germany. Paul Martins, Vitruvian Shield. Vic Chandra is present from U Method. Matthias Abeck from Machine MD. And then in the second session, we'll have an economist actually talking about the cost of brain drugs. And we'll have Amy Nelson from the University of South Alabama. Then we will delve again with the entrepreneur, Roger Bullock from Optichronics, another Swiss company, Ryan Thomas from the very promising Viome Life Science, Nikki Schultek with the Alzheimer Pathobiome Consortium, and then Alexandra Yanni, she will host a panel discussion by the end to close the symposium. So we have a very interesting program that is published online